All right, and we are live. Misfit, welcome to the show. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Dude, we've been trying to do this for a while. Like
Yeah,
how long have
yeah.
we been planning to get you on the show now? For like a
I
month,
mean, like when
maybe
you
at
when you
least.
when you guys first started, yeah, you guys asked me, but then you guys just forgot. That's crazy.
No, you know what? I got
No,
busy. I
no, no.
I
I
I,
understand.
I,
I understand.
I apologize for that.
Yeah,
I
it was,
got
okay,
busy, and then
it was actually better for me because like doing school and stuff like therapy and stuff like that. Like my schedule is like really intense.
Yeah,
So
it's,
now
it
now
is
like
kind of
school's like ending and it's just like testing kids and stuff like that. So it's like really chill.
gotcha. Well,
so
hey,
so.
I'm super pumped to have you here. Super excited to talk to you about whatever the fuck we're gonna talk about. So I mean, like,
All right, first F bomb. I'm down.
so,
I'm down.
yeah,
Yeah.
always, it's
Yeah,
our
yeah.
show. So I mean, how I got to meet you was really like when I was first starting TFT, right? So I like played 5 games of fucking set one and then never touched it again, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I had a lot of free time and I'm like, you know what? Let's try this game out. Long story short, a friend pretty much told me I couldn't beat him in the rank, and then I beat him, and then I was like, yeah, let's keep pushing. And eventually, I got to this plateau where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start needing some help, and that's how I met Lux. He gave me some coaching, and then during the coaching, he's like, yeah, I know some pretty good keeper players, and your name was one of the people that he like searched up on lol chess. I'm
Yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right, cool. And I wrote it down, and I remember like reaching out to you in the Discord. I'm like, I
Yeah.
recognize that name, right?
It's
And I
when
reached
it's
out to
probably
you.
Lex saw that is when he checked my log shot, and that's when I gained like 500 LP in like a span of like 2 days.
Yeah,
Just like keep it cannon.
yeah. This guy has nothing else but keepers on his fucking low chest.
Yeah,
Like,
it was impressive
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Contested, uncontested, bro. I'll pivot into them, and like I'll get like one item. It's a keeper game. A
this
random
man
ass
starts
item.
fraud. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
This man
It's
starts
a
fraud.
kid,
It's
man.
like keeper game. Starts spell. It's a keeper game.
Yeah.
Fucking glove. Whatever. It's a keeper
Yeah,
game.
yeah. That's why keeper was so good. Dude. You can use any item. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting because when I first started the game, I thought like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna one trick this comp, and I'm just gonna learn like what the units are and what the items are, and then I'm good. And then after talking to you for a few days, I started to realize like it's so much more than just that, right? Like it's about how do you pivot in, how do you pivot out? Like do you work in mystics? Do you work in like how do you counter the other comps? Do you transition into legendaries? Like all these parts of the game that I never really like fully understood. And honestly, like I have you to thank to open my eyes about because Lux's coaching was like great for fundamentals, but like talking to you really showed me the gap of like what I thought I knew and what I thought was the ceiling and how much further you can go above it. So in a lot of ways, like for me, I'm really honored to have you on this podcast because this whole thing is really just about like nerding out about playing games and gaming mentality and like what makes a player different from another player. So first, I just wanted to like express my gratitude for you. But I mean,
Thanks for the kind words. You know, I mean, I'm grateful for helping create Playerdiff.gg, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
no, for real, honestly, for real, right? Like you really set the tone for me of what TFT could be. Because I thought it was just like easy, you know what I mean? Like I haven't played
Nah,
this
I
game
thought the
before.
same way. Yeah,
It's my first month. I'm just like crushing people, right? And it's like hitting masters. I'm like, yeah, big dick energy, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then like I talked to you at the end of the set, and then like I'm realizing like, oh, there's actually like 6 different variations that I've never tried, never even thought about doing. And it's like, maybe there's actually like real levels to it. And
Yeah,
then that kind of
that's
like
when you
led
get
me,
hit by the player diff. It's like, well, fuck.
yeah,
That's actually a difference
yeah.
in
Well, like
level.
that's
Yeah,
the difference, right? It's like how
yeah.
how do people figure that out, right? Like how do you understand like where you can go with a comp and try all these different things, right? And it's like now that I have a little bit more experience in the game, I'm starting to see that in other players too, where it's like they think exactly what I thought. It's like the comp is just what units you're gonna run and the items, right?
Hmm.
And it's like
Yeah.
there's so many more levels to it, but it's I had the difficulties because I'm not yet experienced enough to fully articulate it to the way that I want to,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
articulation. I'm a specialist in that. But no,
You
but
are, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you actually are. You
But
actually are.
basically, no, I understand. Like a lot of people that I meet, like they're just first thing in the game, and they'll say things like, I looked up, like TFT guides, and like they post a build, but every time I play the comp, it sucks, or like I'm dead before I get there. And I feel like it just comes down to experience, where like how many games you play, or just watching how do they get to there. Because even if you copy exactly what the guide says, or like the build specifically, and try and go for perfect items all the time, because yeah, there's perfect items, but like how often do you gonna get that, right? Those are like high roll games, because like you got to find out like what are like suboptimal items and how do you save HP to get to that final board, and in that position you don't just leave your board like that every round, like people are gonna scout, people in the end game always have like shrouds, Zephyr and stuff like that, so you can't just leave it like that, and that just comes down from like multitudes of games, or just like watching how people play that comp.
For sure. Yeah, it's the more that I spend with TFT and trying to figure out how do you explain it to people who are not only new to the game, but I would say are stagnant with the game. The more I'm understanding, like, it's really a game about decisions, right? Like, I think what separates the greatest players from good players is really like how many decisions do they make within that 30-second window and how correct, like, what's the percentage of correct decisions they make, right?
Yeah, even the
And
best players, there's always mistakes, or they rolled
for
past the
sure,
unit, in
for
that
sure,
moment
yeah.
it's hard. In that
Yeah, and
moment it's
like
hard,
even
dude.
still, you watch like a streamer, right? And they're like, "Is it ever this?" Like, I don't know if this is stronger. Like, they're still making hypotheses for their own
Yeah, they're
game and like still
thinking, and they even ask their
evaluating.
chat, yeah, like what other people experience, and then they just wing it, and it's like
For
trial and
sure,
error, I feel like, and if it works, then
This
you try it again, and then you're like, all right, this, it looks like it's working, so this must be good, or it's not as bad, I guess.
not as
for
bad.
sure.
Yeah, TFT
Yeah,
just have like a lot of options, and there's no one out there that has like all of the options mapped out in your head. You know what I mean? There's so many like stuff that you had to think about, and it's
Yeah,
like you're like timed. It's not like in chess, right, where you have like 5 minutes total, and some moves like straightforward, like you don't eat up time, but it's like you only get 30 seconds each turn, and there's so much to do each turn, and you just see people here like sitting there doing nothing, twiddling with their thumbs. It's like every single turn for 30 seconds. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You have like 70 gold. Like, do something with it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, people just don't do. People think TFT is like an AFK game. It's like, no, like there's a reason why
no,
like all of like a lot of players who just climb, they don't play a lot of games because there's so much thinking to do, and it fucking wrecks your brain. And that's why I
Yeah.
yeah,
only play like 3 games a day. That's it. It's like I'm out. My fucking brain's dead.
I actually, since I didn't watch any streams or anything, like look at any guides this season, I actually played like infinite amount of games. Like, I finished the battle pass, like I told you, like really
Yeah.
early. Like even with the 3 spatulas that don't mean jack shit, like the emotes or the icons, that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
It's just like I have
grinding,
this.
yeah, grinding like 75k EXP for no reason.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
like
this season I was like kind of in the dark, so I play infinite games, so I'm kind of burnt out now. So like yesterday's tournament was like the first time I actually played more than like one game, you know?
Yeah, I'd actually like
And
to talk to you about the tournament more later on.
oh yeah, for sure.
Purely for selfish reasons for me too.
No,
right?
you're
But,
good. You're good.
but I I'm the same way. Like, you know what? I haven't really been playing for the past 3 weeks to a month now, just because like I've been working so hard to the point where it's like I'm not going to be at full brain capacity to actually play the game that I need to play. Like, I'm just not going to be satisfied at the level of play that it would be if I were to start queuing now. So it's like I'm waiting for like a lull. But like this whole conversation that we've had so far is pretty much like I think it really comes down to like what the mentality of the player is, right?
mhm.
Like ultimately you can look at the decisions that people make and you can look at the units they play and you can look at the items they slam, but I think
Yeah.
really like when it comes down to it, it's like every player has their own. This is kind of like a conversation we started with Pi Hat that's been like bouncing in my mind for a bit. It's like every good player, every great player that I've met or at least had a discussion with always has like this base foundational gaming knowledge that they've built at like an early age, and it's just that's what they use to translate other games into, right? And I find like depending on which games you come from or what kind of community you come from, like you have different priorities, and then I think this really like translates into what your playstyle becomes, right? Not
Yeah.
like the behaviors you take, but actually like the beliefs that you value the most.
I'm
So
pouring a shot right now while you talk.
go for it. Yeah, let's do it, right? So I mean, going along those lines, I was really surprised to hear from you that you actually have quite a rich gaming history.
Oh
And
yeah,
you know,
I've always been a gamer, man. Age of Empire, pinball by myself when I had a shitty computer, like the fucking CRTs, the dinosaur monitors back in the day, 60 hertz.
Yeah, let's go.
I didn't have internet because we're like super poor, super ghetto. So like I just play like Minesweeper and pinball and Age of Empire, bro, by myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Age of Empire back then was lit.
So without me, butchering up your rap sheet, right? What's
You're
your
good.
history with games?
For me, I've always been like a competitive guy, like a competitive mindset in like any game I play, like sports and stuff too. So like you play those solo games, like Minesweeper, pinball, all that. My first competitive game was like so the funny story was it was like Maple Story, Gunbound, all that stuff, like way young, and
That
like
was my shit.
yeah, I
That
played
was
that.
my
So
shit.
I was like a min maxer, so I'd make characters and make sure like back then they didn't have like the perfect rolls, so you keep rolling for that 4-4 stat to get like the
The
ones you
4-4
don't.
stag.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was one of those guys. Yeah. And then
Yeah, I
Gunbounds,
remember that.
I'll like for Gunbound, I'd write down like the wind resistance and like the angle, how to like bungee people, and like I play like knack and stuff, Bigfoot to get the full DPS.
Oh
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
for that, like that, and then I pivoted
Yeah.
to my homies were all playing 1.6 at the time, Counter Strike 1.6.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited. I was like, we went to this LAN. It was called Net to Net, and we'd play there all the time. LAN like in houses, like scrimming and stuff like that. Or we didn't know what scrimming was. We would just play like 5v5, whoever's at the cafe. And then I was like, everyone started buying 1.6 to play at home, and I was so excited. So I went to I think it was like Target, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. I bought the wrong game. I bought Counter Strike Source.
Oh no! No.
I bought Counter Strike Source, and then I was like, let's play, dude. They're all excited. I hopped on. I'm like, I don't see you on. They're like, did you get the right game? Then I sent them a picture of it. And they're like, that's the wrong game, bro. No one plays Source. It's a dog game. And I was like, you know what, dude? I can't play with them. So I just played that. And I just played Infinite. And then I found out about like IRC, MRC, which is like a chat back then to find like teammates and scrims and pugs and stuff like that. And then I found out about like CEVO, which is like competitive league, Cal before they shut down, CPL, and ESCA. And then I got like really competitive because I didn't know there was more than stuff than just like pug games or like just like fun modes like Ice World and all that stuff, and Scout Knives. So then I got really competitive with that, and then I formed a team, and then we did really well, and then we flew out to one of our. I drove. They mostly flew out for like one of the first lands for Counter Strike Source in like I think like 2010, 2011, 2009. I don't remember, dude. But we did really well there, and I met a lot of pros there. Like some people that were there, you guys should know, is like Mo, Freakazoid, Steel, a lot of the big names, and then they were just vibing. Back then, like CS wasn't that big, it was big, but it wasn't to that extent. It was like everyone knew everyone in the scene, so everyone's like really humble and stuff like that. And then that's where I just grinded. And then ESCA has this league called, the highest was back then was like ESCA Invite. For you either go from open to main or IM main,
Yep.
and then Invite. And then I played with a lot of pros, and then that's why I started like my career. And then after CS, I was addicted to League. League came out. I played alpha and beta in my high school. I think it came out like 2010, 2011. I was like, this game sucks. It's like a wannabe cartoon version of Dota. So I played that. And I was addicted to League, dude. I spent all my lunch money on that, dude.
Yeah.
Because before that, I spent all my money on Maple Story Nexon cards at 7-Eleven. I had infinite stacks. I'd use it and I'd stack them just to show how much I got.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't for anything good. It was just for like skins, NX skins, cosmetics. I was a cosmetic guy. It didn't give you any benefits. It just looked cool.
No, but if you had the NX back in the day, like you know what was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You roll up in Hennessy's and you're just like walking.
I was a Henny ho.
Yeah.
I was a Henny ho, bro. Like I'm always on channel 1, just chilling in the Hennessy Market or the park.
Let's
just
go.
Vibing,
Yeah.
Just sitting on my big ass chair, just vibing, dude.
Oh man, yeah, that brings back so much nostalgia.
Yeah,
man.
so we did that. Yeah, so like I was getting out of CS. Everyone was just getting too good. Like I was still there, but I was because my role was an opper. That's how I do in Valorant too. And then I got kind of bored. I played the game for like almost like 7-8 years. And then I pivoted to Dota, and then League got more fun, and I one tricked Riven for a while. Got pretty high elo. And then I played like Scion. I played like other stuff. I played like other lanes. For me, my mental is my mindset was like, all right, I'm gonna get good at one role, one champion, right? Learn all the matchups. And then when I get to a higher elo, and then I feel like I can like learn other roles at the higher elo. Because dude, learning other roles at lower elo is so hard, man. And I feel like that's in every game.
That's never the play. That's never the play.
I feel like this mentality leads on his TFT thing as well. It's like, fuck, I'm just playing that one comp. I don't fucking care.
A lot of people think like in TFT right now, like a lot of people know me like I like to like force comps, like one trick it. Yeah. But like I still play other comps, you know what I mean? Yeah. I still play comp, but I prefer to play that same comp because I know how to play into it, Mm-hmm. And then, like if I have like suboptimal items, I can go to that comp, and and it's okay. That's how I did that. I mean, like the tournament yesterday. I didn't play the patch at all. I was asking like one of my homies, Nestor. You guys know Nestor carry.
Yeah.
Like what's good and stuff like that. So like when the patch came live, I just came in the Discord. I saw him. He was like coaching his homie, and I was like, "Yo, what's good?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm playing Vlad right now." And I watched him play one game, and I was like, "All right, I'm play one game." And I played Vlad first time, hard forced it, high roll, got perfect item like Seraph, Shadow Seraph, Shadow QSS, got second place. All right, not bad. I don't need to decay. Next day, I was like, "Fuck, what's good?" And then I had a shitty opener. I opened 5 tiers. I played. I had 2-3. It was 2-3, and I asked Ramkev and Brosev, "Yo, can I play Draconic on 2-3?" They're like, "Oh, that's kind of too late, And I'm like, "You go Ash Care, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I didn't have any items, and then I got second with 4 Revenant Ash. Ash was a Revenant. I got a bunch of spatulas and tiers, and I just made Revenant spats with like the Negatrons, And I got second with that, and I was like, "All right, thank God everyone low rolled in this lobby." Yeah, in the tournament, I was like, I had a mindset like, "Oh, I'll just play Vlad," but I saw everyone playing Vlad. I still contested them. There's like 4 people. I remember that BSM Master, Scary Z. I forced it into them. I got second. Wait, let me see. Yeah, I got first game. I got second, but I did the tech of getting Kha'Zix 3. Kha'Zix 3 is kind of good, with just like GAIE, because he gets Dawnbringer Trigger and Assassin, so it's pretty good. Yeah. And then I forced it one more time with Vlad items, and then three people were still contesting me. I still got first with that. But then what I did was like I donkey rolled. I was it hyper rolled it because I was getting contested, and I was already like 3 off, so I just rolled for it, and I just pushed levels to punish them. And then I played Draven because I slammed Shadow Runins, and I was like, I had Skirmisher opening with Udyr, and I'm like, who the hell uses Runins? And I was like, all right, it's either Riven, Aphelios, Draven, Jax, and I was like, I'll just play Draven. And then I got 11 units on board somehow. I won that one. And then the last 2 games, I played. I opened Rod. So I just played Yasuo. Normally people will be like, all right, you usually get like bows, or you get like a belt start and you get like good front line and you'll play into it if you get early. But I hard forced it, and I donkey rolled on 7 because I was bleeding, and I was like, all right, I'm playing for a 6 or 7, and I hit Darius 2, Moore 2, and Draven 2 on 7, 0 gold every round until 4-3, and I was like, all right, I'm playing for a top 4. So I did that, and then the last game, where you did the half points, which I hate. I just played.
We'll talk about that.
Someone through the grapevines told me 6 Forgotten is really good. On 3-2, you roll for it for 6 Forgotten to stabilize. I didn't roll for it because I was 1 off anyways, and I didn't want to play Vayne. So I just pushed 7, and I found a Draven. And I just played 6 Forgotten with Mordekaiser, Draven, standard comp, and just positioned, because I feel like in lobbies like those, like people don't know how to play tempo, and they don't know how to punish you at each interval compared to like your elo level, like GM Challenger and stuff like that. Yeah. So I didn't get punished as hard because for sure I should have got like a 6. I squeezed out a third, compared to a full Invoker board.
Yeah,
I did that.
Bro.
So it's obvious to me that like you, just from you telling me like the previous games that you had in your past game experience, like it's very clear to me like one, it sounds like you're out there to dominate, right? Like you're out there to crush people.
No. I just don't like to. I just don't like to lose. I hate losing. I don't like wasting time just to lose. Like even if when I'm having fun with friends playing normals, I hate losing, dude.
Okay,
I'm just very competitive. And we also went on a tangent. You're asking about my past. So basically, Dota to League, and then and then Fortnite. Fortnite came out. And then I found out my friend was a pro already. Like season 1, season 2, there's already a pro cord on Discord. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, is this you? Because the funny thing is I knew him from CS, and he was on one of my original teams. And he had the same name. No one else has his name. His name is Jay Cuddy. If you search him on Fortnite or like CS, you'll probably know him. He's been in the scene for a while. And I was like, is this you? He's like, yeah, it's me. And the funny thing is I hit him on Facebook, and no one uses Facebook anymore, Every time you check Facebook now, everyone's getting married or buying a house. Yeah. That's it,
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, is this you in the standings? He's like, yeah, it's me. It's like, oh, I just got into Fortnite. I'm getting stale of a league, And he just like showed me the ways, I got good. They invited me to like the whole pro scene. I got, so I started to know a lot of people like Tifu, Cloaksy, a lot of big names, stuff like that. And then I got into the comp scene there. We got signed together. He was already on the org, and he put me on, and I just showed up. Shout outs to Pyronic, even though they ended, they're doing their own thing now, and it was good, dude. Like getting paid to play more games, like it's cool.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah. Getting paid to play games is the dream. And then TFT was on the side. TFT came out. I played beta, or the PBE, like the first season or before first season, like where they rated you, and I wasn't that bad. I was like, I think they released like the standings. I think I was like 90th or something, like 90th to 100. I don't remember. I have to check, but I was like, all right, maybe I'm not that dumb, you know. So I played that game because all my other friends are sweating and they're like ranked like 30, 32 in PB. I'm like, okay, these guys are grinders, you know.
Yeah.
So I played that on the side. It was a TFT was a fun side game, you know. It didn't waste a lot of
Mhm.
time. It was quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I played that, and then I got really into TFT like season 2, season 3 because I kept climbing and climbing. You know, every season I passed my peak, even though I just
Yeah.
played it as a side game, and then
Yeah.
eventually like I always ended up challenger or GM, and then I'd always decay to Masters ZLP. Or no, before that, before they had like the where you can camp Masters, it was like you drop to like Diamond 175 or something. So that always hit the highest, and then I dropped like you lose like 250 LP a day, and then you couldn't sit
Whoa.
at Master Zero anymore. You know, they didn't have that. So like now all these people that sit at Master Zero, I'm like, wow, you have the luxury, dude. It must be nice. I'm like,
Must be
damn,
nice
bro.
indeed.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I've always liked TFT. It's like just a chill game, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I played that, and then I got better at the games, and I started like learning more. Like I watched streamers and stuff like that, and I looked
Right.
up guides and I looked up like statistics that people post, and it's like interesting to me. So even if I don't play, I read up on it because I like to do research. You know, like how to play games, like very methodical.
Yeah.
Because I like except this set, like I was going in blind. You know, I was going blind.
Yeah.
I just wanted to learn the game again because I felt like set 5 was like a whole new game again.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just went 0-5 in placements, but it's okay.
Gotcha. Okay. I actually want to go back to something we mentioned on the tangent because it's kind of interesting for me. So, you would you say you love to win or you hate to lose? Which would be the truer statement?
I hate to lose.
You hate to lose. Okay.
I'll take a fourth or fifth.
Okay.
that's
all right.
that's a win. That's a win.
So, I'm curious how, in your opinion, how do you think this drive of like I hate to lose has carried you so far through, so many different games at different degrees of success?
It's a
And
double edged sword though, because like since I hate to lose, a lot of my
yeah,
friends and like they tell me that like sometimes they hate playing with me because I rage. I mauled, you know, I mauled pretty hard, and they're like, bro, it's just a game, like chill, you know, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I get
Yeah.
competitive, and
It's not just a game.
I kind of flame, and I'm like, because I hate losing. You know, like we just wait. I don't want to waste time. Like, yeah, we're wasting time, but like I want to enjoy my time while wasting it. You know?
right, right.
Yeah. So like that's where it hurts.
do you like when you lose? Like, does it take you a while to get over that?
Oh no. Just in that moment. I'm like an in the
Just in the
moment type of
moment.
guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. People always ask me like, do you look towards the future? No, I live in the present. That's just how it is. Like people see like they always like, especially like interviews for jobs. They're like, where do you see yourself 5 or 10 years? People give like the cookie cutter like responses where they'll hire you, where they'll say like, oh, I see me developing and like moving up the ladder in your corporation and stuff like that. I don't say that. I just tell it as it is. Like I'll be honest. I live in the present. I work hard. If I excel at this, this is for me. Then I'll move up. But I'm not gonna lie to you and say like, oh, I'm gonna grow with you 5 to 10 years.
yeah,
Because I don't know that. I can't see that.
yeah.
That's why I bounce around a lot.
No, I get that. Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of I'm interesting because I would say I'm on the hate to lose spectrum too, but dude, I hold my losses like grudges, dude. Like they're like fucking demons on my back.
That's why
like,
you and Sarah are so close.
Oh god.
No.
Sarah's the boy, but bro, you guys on a different level, bro.
I love Slayer. I love Slayer
Yeah,
so much.
Sarah's the boy.
Sometimes I see him like
He is.
locked up in his cry room, and I'm like, dude, come on, man, bro, don't
You
tell.
need to get out of here.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
love him. I love him dearly.
I don't know what I am.
but, like, what do you think you are, Lux?
Me.
He's a Balluno main.
I think I'm more of a I like
No,
to
no,
win
he's
rather
no,
than I hate to
no.
lose.
You're more all right. If I was to put Alexander in a category in any game, he's like the collector. He collects things.
He collects
He
things.
likes
I
to-
collect
he
all
likes
my
to, like-
wins.
Yeah, not the wins. He like collects like let's say like, all right, Pokemon he collects badges, right? Collects all the
Yeah.
Pokemon. And Balluno he gets all the monkeys, in
Yeah.
Arknights and gacha games. He tries to collect everything max tier level, min maxing.
Shit.
He just likes to collect to add to his like portfolio,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I am, right? All I do is build portfolios.
Cheers,
Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
But yeah, I don't know if I want to win or hate.
Yeah,
to
are you
lose.
a love to win or hate to lose? Which one are you?
I think I'm a love to
What do you
win
think?
rather than a hate to lose. Like if I lost,
Yeah?
I lost. You know what I mean? I feel like I reflect more when I lose. And fuck, it's so hard to say. But like I'm not like you guys where like if I lose, I'm like fuck, I'm gonna fuck this kid up kind of thing. Like
Yeah, I say
get
that,
tilted.
but I still tilt Q. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like I get.
Look at Bulls.
I
Bulls is a beast, dude. He'll go like
yeah
7-7-7, 8-8-8-8, and he'll still queue up and he'll bounce back and
yeah.
streak back up. You know, it
Maybe
just
Yeah.
maybe
it
I
is.
am hate to lose since I don't queue up if I know I'm in a bad mental. Like maybe that's why it's like
What do you
maybe if you
consider a
hate
bad
to.
mental though?
It's like if I know I'm not gonna play my best, or like if my mental state is not where I believe I am, I don't queue up. Like I can go off on a win, and if I don't feel satisfied from that win, I will not queue up the next game. You know what I mean? I'll top four, and I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I didn't think I played well. I'll just not queue up. Like, I feel like a lot of people just send that queue next button, like one more episode, one more game kind of thing. It's like no, it's not like that for me. It's like I know when to stop, and I feel like that's why I have so little games, but like I'm still like climbing a lot more than certain other people who just spam out games every single day. I feel like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Bean.
Shout out to B. Yeah.
We're
For
out here
sure.
Yeah,
roasting. We're roasting out
that
here.
that man's a grinder. All right, that man
He's a
don't know
grinder.
when to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. No, I'm like you, Lux, where it's like if I have like two bot fours, I'll stop. Right.
Yeah,
I'll stop and be like, I gotta go do something, like go for a walk, meditate, journal, like
yeah,
just go to fucking bed, wake up, crush a workout, come back like 6 a.m., just crush.
yeah,
Right. Like
yeah. It's like
I hate to lose. I hate like my
I,
disappointments upset me more than anything else. Right.
I
Like
think I think I'm a hate to lose person. Then I think that's yeah. Just after that line, I think I'm a hate to lose person.
yeah, like if the
Yeah.
game gives me nothing, like if I just roll the whole game, I'll be like, all right, okay, it is what it is. But like if I miss a character in the shop, I'm fucking tilted. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm just
dude.
fucking trash, dude. Like
There'll be a game where I would top four, and like after the game, I realized I didn't pivot into something better, which had the opportunity to. I'll not play the next game. I'll be like,
yeah,
just thinking on that one fact. There was a
yeah.
game ages ago where I think it was I played affiliates instead of playing Jax, and I was like, and I got a
Is that when
fifth.
Felix was bad?
Yeah, there wasn't Jax. It was like no, that was like the first two patches when like both of them were good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think when
It was like
affiliates
the
was like
Aphelios
going downhill.
Karma. That
No,
was
it
like
was
the
like
two.
after that patch.
Yeah.
I think it was when Phyllis
Oh,
became
okay.
that. Yeah. And then
Okay.
I was like, I rolled over Infinite Jaxes, like I didn't pivot into skirmishes or something, and then I was like, I was just so tilted, I didn't play for a whole fucking day, just because of that fact. I didn't even like
Yeah.
lose LP, like I lost like 10 LP,
Yeah.
but then I just didn't play for a day because I was so like focused on the fact that I could have done better.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Sure.
And that's the
So like
annoying part.
off that topic, Misfit, I'm kind of curious to like go into like your ideologies of one tricking. So you mentioned earlier like most people know you as a one trick, but you still play other comps. I know you as like the
Keeper cannon.
keeper one trick that I learned from, right? So like
I knew I made it when I every time I got goo bums in my lobby, I'd always beat him. The best way to beat your mentor is to get coached by
yeah,
him.
that's the sign, right? That's the sign,
Yeah,
right? When
and
you
that-
when you beat
yeah.
the guy.
It's because it wasn't like so like Goobums, I watched a lot of his streams. I like he coached me. I had other people that were one trick. Marcel P, a lot of one trickers of that comp at the time.
Yeah.
Tien, there's a lot of people. And then I just asked, how do you play like your keeper cannon? I asked them like, hey, if you're ever free, I'm not scared to reach out. If they said, what's the same thing as like a girl, the worst thing you can say is no, or I'm busy. It's all good, it doesn't hurt
Yeah,
unless you
for
try,
sure.
every
For
shot
sure.
you don't shoot is empty anyways.
For sure.
And basically, I just see how they play, like get there, how did they think, and what do I think. We discuss it, and I apply it to my games, and then it
Yeah.
just adds up. It just adds up,
For sure.
and then yeah, that's how you get better at the comp. How do you excel at a one trick comp that you think you hit its limits? Find other people that are just as good, even if people aren't as high rank as you. Like I feel like there's always to learn. There's always something to learn. I feel
Yeah,
like
there's
no one,
something
no one knows everything. There's no way. If
Yeah.
you knew everything, dude, I'd buy lottery tickets every day. Shit. I'll be stacked,
Right.
But yeah, there's always knowledge out there to learn. I feel like every opportunity that you don't strive to get for it or try to gain, you're
Yeah.
missing out, and that's just how I am in IRL too. Just not from gaming aside. I feel like there's always more to learn in life.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could definitely attest to that. Right. It's about you have to get over this idea of like rejection and failure and looking like an idiot, because that's what ultimately stops you from learning the things or experiencing the things that actually give you real growth, like real meaningful growth, right? Like in my experience, and it's something like I try to do very often, and that's something I try to do with this podcast in particular. Is like I learned that I have always grown the most when I've chosen to be vulnerable. Like it's really easy to just like ego. It's really easy to front and like try and be all strong, but like when you open up a bit, like you either one or two things happen. Either you connect on a deeper level with somebody, and that gives you access to more information, or even just like a more meaningful relationship, which is more amazing. Or the second thing is like you start paying more attention to the material itself, right? Like you actually start to respect it more. So I could definitely like attest to that, and I feel like as you were saying that, that kind of gave you like flashbacks to when like I was reaching out to you about keepers. I was like, man, I don't know what this guy's gonna say, but fuck.
No, you're good. I'm glad you brought that up because like for me, like you brought up the word ego, and that like hits me differently. For me, like I've never I don't really like that word because like I mean like yeah like, people have egos, you know, that's just how some people are. And for me personally, like everything I learn, I like to like give back, you know. So everything I learn, I want to help everyone else get better, you know. So like anytime like people reach out to me, like everything I learned to become a better player or person I am is just from past experience, and I'd rather share that knowledge and keep it to myself, you know.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's interesting because I have almost a opposite philosophy on that. Is that I love to help people because it helps me. Because the best way
Okay.
to solidify like knowledge is to teach it to somebody, right?
Yeah.
I
No,
also
I
just
can
like
no, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. No, I understand because especially like when I do like coaching and stuff like that, and I share like what I know, because I like for me, I don't like to backseat, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like that because it changes like the way they play, and I don't
for
like
sure.
that. Like what I like to do is like, emphasize that how they play and try to make it better. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I just show them what I know and what I learned, and if that can help them, you know, become a better player with the extra knowledge that they gain to
For
you
sure.
know tune up their strategies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
then you know, hey, you know, I'm all for it. But
For sure.
obviously, if it doesn't work, then obviously I got to change something, or obviously I'm not a good coach, or what I learned was ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you should
Yeah.
like look back on what I learned. You know, it's like
Yeah,
maybe I need to change my own thinking process and my own styles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you are a coach now on the TFT Discord server. Were you an existing coach, or are you a new coach? What's the
I mean,
origins of that?
I coach. It's easy for okay. So like coaching TFT for this one for like TFT Discord was like kind of new, but I did like the common one. But I like other games I've coached or like if you see me in FPS games, I was always IGL. I'm like the support IGL. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
every game, like so FPS for me, my strength is why I excelled so good at FPS. Like Valorant, like I just came back to it like a week ago, and I didn't know the meta, I didn't know any new champions, and I got placed. I went like 05 as well. You know me, I'm a 05 gamer, but I got placed over three, and in a span of a week, I hit diamond already. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to get back to immortal, you know, radiant, and trying to get to radiant again. And basically, you know, it's just trial and error, and I feel like, bro, I'm so drunk. Dude. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I'm dizzy, bro.
So good. So good. Jeez.
Coaching. You're like how'd you become a coach on the TFT Discord server?
Oh, the transition is just like from IGLing is the same thing as coaching. You know,
Yeah.
good mindset. Oh yeah, FPS games. Sorry, my aim was good. Like it was like the bare minimum at higher elo. But what
Yeah.
made up for it to make up for my lack of aim? Because at higher elo, everyone can aim. You know, if you miss your
Yeah.
shot, you miss your shot, and everyone like Vandal one taps anyways. And what to make up for that, my weakness was game sense. I have really good game sense in FPS games or any game. Well, I like to think about a lot of things. So game sense in FPS, I put myself in positions where if I'm at a disadvantage, it makes it even, or I have a slight advantage to make up for my aim, and that's why
Okay.
I do really well, especially when the opper. You know, and then
Yeah.
higher elo, everyone knows how to smoke you off and stuff like that. They expect op angles and stuff like that. So I always like play off angles, or I never re-peak, or I readjust my positioning. And for coaching, it's the same thing as IGLing. I feel like you know, I can just like transverse and see how they play, and I can tell them how to excel in a different position and what they can do better because I can see how they play, and I'll tell them like what I would do. But yeah, TFT
Yeah.
Discord was like the first time. I mean, Lino asked me to coach.
Lovely, no, great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious. You talked about game sense. I'm curious what you think game sense is for TFT.
Game sense and TFT,
Yeah.
dude. I don't even think there is really game. I mean, game sense is maybe a transverse to like game knowledge, like how much you
Yeah.
know of the game. Whether it's like you watch infinite streams or you read up a bunch of guides, or you spam a bunch of games, which I did this set, And so like normally I'd watch streams, before tanking elo. I watch what everyone's playing, what units are strong, traits like that, which traits are good, which chase traits are bad, like what comps you think are good on paper but they're not in game, just because of how they interact with other people's comps. um
Yeah, I don't think there's game sense. There's just
yeah,
game
I think it's
knowledge.
game knowledge. Yeah, it's like how much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time,
Yeah.
this set, I just played a bunch of games. That's all I did.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you check let me see how many games I got. I think
Mm.
that the first week I spent like almost 200 games. All right, this
Yeah,
set
you
alone,
did.
this set I slowed down obviously because I play Valorant now and I'm kind of burnt out from this set. But the new patch is pretty fun. I've only played like since yesterday. Is really I played because when patch came live, I played one game a day, which is
Yeah.
two games and then the tournament. But this set I played 378 games already. I feel like,
Jeez.
and then I finished Battle Pass, so I play like infinite basically.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just how much you're able to retain the information that you learn from every game, whether you play it or you watch it.
Gotcha.
I feel like the thing that stands out for the most for like people are higher elo and lower elo where they're stuck or plateaued is like for me is understanding unit strength at each stage by themselves without traits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
like
that's a concept that I kind of have difficulty explaining elegantly to my friends. Like I can kind of get it across, but like how would you explain it?
Yeah, I want to hear
as
your
in like
explanation. Unit strength. Yeah, I'll explain mine.
unit strength. Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is like just trial and error. I like trial and error. But now
Gotcha.
like I test so many champions and so many early game boards that I know like what saves you HP because end game you're trying to get to your final comp, right? How do you get there?
Right.
Save HP so you have money to level up and roll down for your units. If
Right.
you're bleeding infinite early mid game, how are you gonna get to the end game? You can't, and you're just playing for a 6th or 7th. And I feel like a lot of people like everyone low rolls games. It happens to me all the time. It's like understanding what position you can play for. And it's a ladder system. So as long as you're not getting infinite 7ths and 8ths, you'll always climb. 5th and
Yeah.
6th ain't that bad. First to second, third, like that can negate a 5th and 6th. It's okay. And then just trial and error. And like learning early game, I feel like early game to mid game is like the hardest. A lot of people like even like when I win streak, even if I'm like a 10 win streak, I still roll. I still roll to maintain streak. A lot of people are greeting and they think they can streak all the time. They don't understand like when they scout. Oh, can this guy beat me? Like I like to ask myself questions. I don't know if it's weird. I don't know if you guys ask yourself, but I ask myself. I'll be like, all right, I can beat this guy for sure. I can beat this guy. This guy looks pretty strong. He just hit and stuff like that. Just ask myself that. And if I'm uncertain, then I'll be like, all right, he's probably going to beat me. So I'm going to roll a bit, get a couple upgrades, or I'm going to push a level to maintain streak. A lot of people will be streaking for a while. They think they're board stable, but like learning like when everyone else is rolling down, scouting how much everyone's gold is, and to keep they're spiking, and you're just keeping the same board. Like, are you going to win? Probably not, right? And then like, keeping that streak is so important. And the worst feeling is like the worst feeling is probably when you push levels and you scout and you're like, I beat everyone. And then the one guy that you last second, like he all ins and he beats your streak and you just leveled up and now your econ's fucking trash.
Yeah. I've had a lot of
Yeah.
moments like that.
I
for
feel
sure.
like my way of explaining unit value is more like every single unit is has a number between 0 to 100, right? This comes from experience, and you kind of rate your own units from 0 to 100, like at a point system. You know what I mean? Like a metric, right? You can watch streams, and like streamers will like tell you what's strong and what's not, and it's like some units are super marginal by like a number or two, right? That's what.
All right, let me intercept you real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. All right, you say that numerical value for each unit.
Yeah.
All right, you want to know my thinking on set like 2 to 3 and 4
Yeah.
was how cool they look. If I thought they look cool and they did cool flashy abilities, and see if they're like, all right, I'm keeping this motherfucker in, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
right-
feel like
right
I
now-
was that too.
Right now, the Misfit tier list of coolness. Who
Right,
are the
what's-
top 5 coolest champs?
Like early game, like one
Sure.
cost
No,
stuff.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you choose.
Kha'Zix,
Okay.
he's broken, dude. Isolation, and he looks cool, dude. Like he jumps and just slaps their backline. He snipe. I just because I'm an opera, so I just assume he's sniping someone. He jumps to the backline and snipes a unit. That's how I think. I know. Like my ideology is like a troll. I'm a troll in person. Like if we were to kick it in person, I'm like everyone calls me like a troll.
Yeah,
and
he
then
is a fucking troll.
Kha'Zix's cool. Graga is big boy. Oh, you can't beat that guy. Even like just a one cost Gragas, if you have Dawnbringer on, Like that man drinks his wine, dude. Is over. He's slapping me.
It's over.
He's good, you know. There's just units that are sick, you know. Like, are you really gonna play like a Vayne, dude? Vayne one? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on. It's like a girl shooting a fucking bow. Whoop de doo, dude. You ever seen the Cat 6 or Greg is drinking wine and then drunk slapping you? God damn, bro. Like he just walks up. He's like, I'm gonna drink some alcohol. I'm gonna slap your ass. I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, this guy, you already know he's fucking client to challenger with this fucking tier list.
I can't refute it. There's nothing I could say to argue that. I mean,
all right, exactly. Think about skinny girl goggles and bow and arrow, you know, or a fat boy drinking wine, you know, like who you gonna take, you know? Fat boy with wine, come on, bro. Like they hit different, bro.
They hit different.
They hit different. It's a player diff.
Too good.
That's the show. That's it. That's all we do.
That's it, bro. Yeah. Close curtains, bro.
Yeah, that's it. Now you know. Now you know the tech.
That's the tech, bro. Play units that look cool, dude. Fuck it, dude.
Hey, is that why Ari was so strong?
Yeah, Ari is lit, bro. E-girl champion up the charts, bro. Spirit bomb 10 episodes later. Find out in the next episode.
Oh god.
You think that's funny, bro? Like, think of all the edgelord champions. Zed, right? Every season, Zed is fucking. It always comes on top. At least one patch or two, right? Like Pikachu, you know, Tisma. Like and he spams Zed. You know, all the Zed variants. You know, Zed is an edgelord. Like even in League, dude, Zed assassin. You know, 1v1 in mid lane, outplaying them. Like he looks sick as fuck. His kit's cool. He pops up, bro. He'll carry you. He'll carry you, dude. You don't play it. Come on, bro.
I feel it. I feel it.
It's an OP, dude.
That's how TFT works, guys. Fuck.
There you go, guys. If you want to flow Charlie GM, bro, play cool units. Play cool units.
So is that why you play Kennen so much?
Yeah, because he's a little rat, dude.
Electric hamster, dude.
Yeah, he just slithers in, bro. Let me slide in your DMs. Boom, 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 boom. Hits the whole backline, bro. Everyone got that message, bro. Check your phone.
Shit, man.
So other than not playing cool units, right? I'm curious, what do you think as a coach and a player who primarily like one tricks a majority of the time? Like, what do you think that most people are doing wrong when it comes to one tricking? Because it feels like, especially if you just look in like the TFT Discord general, right? It's like,
that's easy. I got you. You don't need to finish that. That's easy. That's easy. All right. Let's go. When people one trick comps, their mindset is like, I'm only gonna pick up those units. You know, like you don't need to pick up those units. Like think of like, all right, right now, like Yasuo's hot, right? He's the hot boy. You know, this set. He's consistent past 3 patches. Like he's always been good. You know, RFC, Runins, JG. You know, perfect build right there. If you don't got RFC, you can go Shadow Hodge. You know, and basically people just pick up units for that. But most of the time, you don't even play a comp till level 7. You want to save HP, or you can. For me, like this set, like Coleman, he's a kill one trick. You know, he likes a one trick. He's a loose streaker. He likes a loose streak. Like every set since season 1, I've never lost streak. I like to win streak. You know, I was a win streak player. But then I realized that all right, I'm win streaking, and then every carousel I'm getting like belt, chain, Negatrons, bro. Like what the fuck am I doing? I slam fucking Shroud and Slimfire's endgame. Like Zephyr is cool, but I don't want to have like 10 of them. You know, that's too sweaty for me. I'm gonna outplay myself, you know. I'm gonna probably Zephyr my own units, you know. And then basically, I was like, all right, loose streaking, because usually you stabilize. I'd rather get perfect items, you know. You don't taking HP early doesn't mean jack shit. Especially in the tournament yesterday, a lot of people were saying like, oh, bro, like you're bleeding out, you're dying, dude. Like, are you gonna make it to the final game, or make it to like top 4 and stuff like that? I'm like, oh, bro, don't trip, dude. They're like, oh yeah, you're bleeding out. Okay, the last game, the final, I had 64 HP before Krugs, by the way. 64 before Krugs.
Whoa.
I mean, I played what I got. I had no parries. I played the weakest board. I played strongest board, obviously, but I didn't have any synergies, no unit upgrades, and they're worried about me not making econ. So on stage, like 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, I held a bunch of pairs on bench, and they're like, damn, this guy's not econing. And I was telling them, like, econ's not that important because I'd rather hit my pairs, you know, to get upgrades so I can play them so I don't bleed as much. Yeah. And then all of them, you know, they're like, oh, okay, noted. Okay, makes sense. You know, stuff like that. And I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't know that, you know. Like, yeah, you're making econ is important, but like that early, you know, like you'd rather hit your units early. You know, that's why I don't like to level to 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like to level 4 this patch unless like I know like I'm gonna go for a win streak or I have something to add into like a synergy that's strong, like 2 knights or something like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
2 legionnaire. But like most of the time, if I already have a weak board, I'm just gonna lose streak, and then just hold all the pairs and try to hit something so I don't lose too much HP, and then and then roll down in 3-2 and try to stabilize from there. Like taking HP early doesn't mean anything, and also that means you get prior on items,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which is really good.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
along the same tangent, right? Like I'm actually pretty curious about your evaluation of HP versus gold, right? Because I've talked to many different players about this, and they all have their own variations of how they see
In the wise word of a pro,
evaluations.
Solus and Kiyun, 1 HP is infinite. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I've won games with 1 HP many times,
Yeah.
and as long as you're alive,
100%.
you're not dead. There you go. Write that down. As long as you're alive, you're not dead. That's it.
Dude, that can be a fucking starting line quote right there. Easy.
Let's put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, dude.
Playerdiff
think,
merch.
think about how many games. Think how many games you were like, all right, I'm playing for a 7th, and then somehow you don't get roll every round, and you fucking high roll and you hit all your units, and you go, all right, I'm playing for 5th, 6th. I'm playing 3rd, 4th. All right, now I'm playing for top 2. I don't know how to pull this out of my ass cheeks, but I got it.
Right.
Donkey roll till you hit.
Yeah. So do you? So it clearly sounds like you're definitely okay with like losing HP early.
I like okay, streaking. I feel like streaking is so important.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I
then
agree,
like
but tell me
win
more.
losing like if you let's say like you win, or let's say you
Yeah.
lose, win, lose.
Yeah.
You lose infinite gold, right? You rather win, lose is better, or lose
Right.
all the way, or win all the way. Because the interest early game, if you do the I forgot the math. I'm too dumb right now, but basically if you do the math, it's like exponential. Let's just use the word exponential. The gold interest for later rounds is so important. Gives you more rolls. Gives you enough gold to push levels. Helps you buy more units, because sometimes you buy units and you hit like a 3 cost early or 2 cost and you want to hold it because that's your item carrier or that's just like a unit that's in your comp, and you lose econ, right? How do you make that up? Oh, you're win streaking. Oh, you're lose streaking. Stuff like that. And I feel like it makes up for that.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think then, like within the evaluation of like HP versus gold, like streaks is arguably what triumphs it?
I think streaks important to the latter, like to the most part. But like knowing if you can streak or not is the hard part.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of people still don't know how to determine board strength.
Right.
Even me, like Lux knows, like even like Bandit, one of my homies. Every time he watches me play, I'll be like, "It's a fucking over. It's 8th. I fucking lost. I lost. I'm losing a fight, and then I win." And he's like, "Wow, you lost, huh? You lost," and I won by like 8 units. Stuff like that, bro. I'll call off that. I fucking lost. This guy hit, bro. It's doomed.
I know. Yeah, I remember that.
But board strength's too hard to determine. Until you play infinite games, or you really understand how the game works.
Right.
It's hard to determine like how strong your board is compared to everyone else's. But sometimes, obviously, if you high roll, like, you have everything upgraded. You have really good items. Units that are broken. Varus too early for first Kara. You're streaking. That's broken. Redeemed, Legionnaire, Ranger.
Yeah.
You're streaking. You
Or
can just tell.
abominations and shit
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's
Like some games, it's hard to tell because like you're like, all right, I can be like 4 out of the 8 players. 4 out of 4,
Right.
whatever, 4 out of
Right.
7. And then you're like, all right, do you think I can beat this guy? And then how do I position to minimize the loss or try to beat him? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that. I guess like really what it comes down to is like, you just have to play the game, right? Like you just have to play the game and make hypotheses, make guesses, and learn from them.
I want to
Yeah.
cut you off on that part. I feel like
Sure.
it's not just playing the game. I feel like you need to understand the game. Like people just play mindlessly. They just like play, right? Just click, put in units, copy a comp, right? You're not gonna learn anything
Yep.
from that. And this is
Yep.
why I say it's like TFT is probably the only game out there where you can watch more streams, play less games, and you improve. Harder than playing more games and watch less streams, right? Like you just
Sure.
understand the mentality and the thought process of a pro or a streamer or like a top 50, top 10 player, right? And then you understand what they think and you can implement it into your games. and then you just instantly get better rather than after you gain that muscle memory experience. Like there's not really muscle memory stuff in TFT. So like I'm playing League, I need to understand all the fucking combos and the cancels for a Riven or something, and then I become better at the game, right? It's more like I just know my matchups and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm playing Garen every single game. That's like pretty much TFT, right? So you can watch a player, understand how they do things, and that's when you improve. I feel like that's how it is for TFT.
Yeah, I guess I would, to retract my previous statement, then I guess it would be
Yeah.
like it's really just about making as many guesses as you possibly can, right?
Pretty
Like
much.
understanding the game in terms of like I'm willing to
Like,
bet that this beats this or this is weaker than this, right? And
yeah.
making hypothesis, right? And
Yeah.
then getting real time data and figuring out how you calibrate from there.
And you
So
give it a
if
try.
that's the
It's like,
case,
does it
right?
work? Mhm.
Yeah. So if that's the case, right, Misfit, what would you say for people who are just like scared to spam games? You know, like
Make an alternate account
Yeah.
and just play stress free. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what I do.
You know, that's the
what I say
easiest.
all the
You know,
time.
and then
Make
if you
it
feel
smooth.
like you plateaued at a rank that you've never hit before, or like that was your peak, and you're stressing, you have a lot of people have rank anxiety. You know, I don't. You know, if a lot of people have rank anxiety, make another account and just play that until you're comfortable,
Yeah.
and then get it to the same rank as that one. Now you just play both. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, I did that every set. You know, especially new patches. I play my Smurf first, see what works. You know, then once I'm comfortable, or I keep winning, or like I get to the same rank as my main, then I hop on my main, and it's the same thing. No, nothing changed. I practice already, so I know. You know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
every knowledge you learn as you play, and watching people play, you know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, I do have a friend who, like, they play phenomenal, right? But every time they get close to like that D1, they just like
The stress.
they add so much pressure onto themselves, and then they just
It's just a
jump from
number,
there
man.
and go.
It's just a number.
It is
It's
just a number.
Yeah.
it's just a number. It's what you learn from playing that
Yeah.
game.
Like
Mhm.
your rank and your LP doesn't matter. It's more like your knowledge. You know what I mean? You can always get that
Mhm.
number back if you get better at the
Mhm.
game. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I
like
don't-
I
it
didn't play that.
doesn't-
I didn't. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, doesn't matter if you drop or not. It's like if you
Yeah.
learn something from a games, like this is what Chaos always says to me. It's like it doesn't matter if you just go 888, as long as you learn something from each game, you're gaining. And I was like, okay, I'm running it down.
What if Cass goes like, "Hey, you learned you're a bad player. Fuck it.
Oh shit, dude.
Time to pivot. Time to pivot. Fuck
Time to
it."
pivot. Time to pivot.
I mean, like, yeah, like I was saying, like the tournament I played yesterday, like that was the first time I actually played the patch, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like this patch is like with the more armory changes, the reforge, all stuff. You know, hey, I love it, dude. You know, funny thing is, I haven't used loaded dice once this set. Astoundingly. Yeah, and when I loaded dice, I got 5 hickrums in my shot.
Gee.
Wrong.
Imagine.
5 hickrums.
Imagine.
Looking for any other forgotten. He got 5 hickrums. Sorry, BG. But yeah, the army chain is very. I feel like it's more flex now. A lot of comps are viable. It's how you get to that and how you play like suboptimal items on your carries, which is okay. I feel like this set is like the old school ones where it's like front to back. As long end game, it's like whoever has the front beefier front line, your carries will do damage over time,
Yeah.
and then eventually, like as the game progresses, as the time ends, you're killing units because your front line's still alive. You know.
Yeah.
So like I feel like suboptimal carry items is okay. If you have a good upgraded front line and you have like some tanky items, like you can out sustain their damage.
I like that idea. I'm actually gonna.
Yeah. That's why a lot of like KR players and a lot of people watch now. Like if you watch like really good players, a lot of people start Belt. Belt's really good. You know, Shadow Morello, regular Morello, Warmogs early, especially on Lee Sin, like OP.
Redemption.
You know, you go for you go for frontline items first, and then you go. You know, you save HP, and then you play suboptimal into your carry, and you save all HP, so you're always guaranteed the top 4.
Yeah, I actually enjoy that kind of play style because remember in set 4 we had like the Dust Comp Riven where your first slam was a Sunfire, then you slam an Ionic Spark.
Sunfire Tom Kench level 1, you win. You just streak.
It's so fucking free. But they're like, I like that. I need to play more. I
like that playstyle. I try to go when I can, but I don't lose carousel. So I don't lose carousel. So I always grab what I need. I'm just saying, I'm like 100 for like anytime like when I go in a game and you know those carousel where it's like tier 2 tier quick love and like one sword or one rod. I'm getting that rod or sword. I don't give a fuck. I'll contest
bro.
7 motherfuckers on that, bro. I'm winning that always.
Do you have carousel strats? Like, are there things you do specifically at carousel to?
Well, there's a Discord to practice. There's a Discord to practice carousel early game.
Oh,
Really?
what?
And and we just practice that. It's all like these sweats. And everyone that's really good carousel, we just play that. So like we know how to push out, and we know what binds to use and stuff like that. I mean, like, everyone buys the same, but like all like the move, stop, and all that stuff, interact, and how you can push people off carousel is very important.
Yeah.
But now I feel like this set, like any starting item is okay. Honestly,
Is okay. Yeah.
just don't start 5 tiers like me. That's just ass.
That's actually interesting to me because like I've like started to play with like carousel strats, but I didn't know it went that deep.
I mean, it's just not the mechanic. Like if you're trying to min max the game like TFT, that's one of the min maxing things you can do is winning carousel.
Makes sense. Yeah,
you don't need to win carousel if you lose streak. Simple. You just lose streak and you pray for the 50-50. It's on your side. You grab the item you need.
Yeah.
And like another people is like all right, once you get your perfect carry items or whatever, your perfect tank item, whatever. For me, I'm a griefer. I'll scout lobby and I'll see what these players need, and then I'll be dancing at the carousel, just waiting what they grab, and then I'll just grab the last second, even if I don't need it. Same thing as a unit upgrade, like a big one, like a 5 cost. Like if they're gonna hit Garen 2, Garen 2, Darius 2, Heimer 2, like Viego 2, like I'm grabbing that, even if it doesn't fit my comp. I'll take it.
This man can get like 6 belts and he'll still grab that fucking Garen just to fuck with the other guy.
yeah. I did that yesterday. I grabbed a guy's Garen. It was fire. I didn't even use it. I just sold it for 5 gold and I rolled it for a 2 cost upgrade.
I think I know who you did that to. I'm curious to why you do that, right? So for obvious reasons, like agrees, but like what in your mind, like why is that such an effective strategy, or is that just something you're doing just because like?
All right. People. No. People. All right. There's a debate about like all right. Same thing as like holding units, right? If it breaks eco and you're kind of griefing them, and you're holding units even if you don't use it, gives it a higher chance of them not hitting. Same thing as carousel. If it's a big upgrade for them, but you don't need anything, like it hurts them more than it hurts you. You know. And if that even if that 0.1%, chances like it hurts them, but that's 0.1% less than it's hurting you. Like it doesn't affect you that much.
I feel like another thing I want to add on that is like it's a mental game, right? I take what you need, and you just get fucking tilted, and then I just ruin your game strat, and you just play the rest of the game tilted. You know what I mean? I don't want to name names, but you know a few people here like that. When they get fucking their items yoinked, holy shit, they flip the fuck out.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's how you do it. Like in a competitive, like especially in tournaments, it's like I need to get upper hand on you somehow. You know what I mean? It's like a mental game. It's like playing League, right? You just gank that one kid who's on a lose streak.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Yeah.
Just to fuck him even over harder. And then he just doesn't know how to play the game anymore. He just AFKs, fucking leaves the game. And then you just win the game for free. Just by doing that one action. Just like keep on camping that kid. Right? Just till you take that one item that they really, really need, right? Or a unit they really need, it just ruins their mental.
Yeah, I grab the units. Like I'll buy the units, and then if I'm fighting them, I'll buy it in my shop and I'll ping it.
Yeah, dude, I do that too. I ping
it all the time, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm a BM player, bro. I'm a BM player.
Dude, me and Misfit are so fucking toxic. We're so toxic to each other too when we play. Like I'll fucking contest the shit out of him, and he'll contest the shit out of me. It's so fun, right? Between friends, but then when you play with other players, like it ruins their mental. Like that's where like a mental diff comes in. It's like how good are you retaining your mental when you're playing a game? Because like imagine you're playing LeBlanc back then, right? You need the Shadow Tier, and I come up and get a Shadow Tier for like a redemption or some shit. Do you know how tilted they will be? It's like, and then they just don't know how to play afterwards. They just roll wrong time. They don't like think clearly. It's like it's so free.
There's a way to divert it too. Is like once you play like the same people you see in your lobbies all the time, like Clyde Bundy and stuff like that. Like me and him talk. Like I went to a stream and I talked to him for a bit, and then this is like when one tricking Sin. Everyone knows Clyde Bundy. He's one tricker. Yeah. For Sin, and then
we've talked about him a bit.
We got him. I got him in 5 games in a row, and we could test each other. And one of us bots for it, the other bot for it. So like we made a mutual agreement to add each other, just to make sure we don't snipe each other, stuff like that. Like you can minimize it. Or like he'll be like, "Oh, are you going LeBlanc carry?" He's like, "I'm like, yeah," and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna pivot to Katarina carry." That way, we both top 4, and it's okay.
Respect.
Yeah, it's like here, I'll sell my LeBlancs for your Katarinas kind of thing. It's like the mutual agreement. It's like trading in the middle of the game. I remember hearing that shit. It was so funny.
Yeah, just whisper at them. But, hey, like, I get that all the time. Like people whisper me, like, "Oh, what are you playing this game? What are you gonna go for?" Or like we're saying carousel.
And fucking Misfit always be like, "Whatever you're playing." And I was like, "Well, shit, bro."
Like it's funny to joke around about these things, but at the same time, like. One of my favorite quotes is that winners never complain when the other side plays the game.
Yeah, no. Like when I get contested by a one trick or two, and I know they play the comp, they get my lobby, like they played it better. And I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, I fucking sat here low, bro. I could have played something else." It's okay. If
Yeah,
I
same.
came into the game knowing that they're gonna force it, then and I force it too, and knowing that they hit before me and I'm still contesting, and I
For
get
sure.
bought for it, like that's on me, bro. It's on
Yeah.
them.
Like
for sure.
in TFT,
It-
your options are always opened. It's like your game knowledge
Mhm.
dictates what you see and what you don't see,
For
right?
sure.
And
I'm
people,
always go ahead. Go ahead.
oh yeah, sorry, I was gonna say like people always focus on what they don't hit rather than what they actually hit in their shops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just so tunnel visioned, and I feel like that's a
Yeah.
problem, and that's why they're playing bad. It's like they're just too focused on that one thing, that one unit. It's like, oh, I want that Draven, but then you roll over Infinite Phileas Jax or whatever other unit you can play,
Yeah.
and they don't see it. You know what I mean? And that's like problematic. And I
Yeah,
feel like,
I've actually started to call that best in slot syndrome, where it's like
yeah, yeah.
they're so focused on
Like
getting
that.
this one unit, so focused on getting this one item that they
Yeah.
just can't like see anything else at all,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's man, I gotta tell you, like it's funny that now that I'm starting to get more into like hosting tournaments and I'm paying really close attention to like how people are,
Reacting.
I won't say reacting, but like
Mhm.
experiencing the tournament, right?
Yeah.
It's so shocking to me, like the amount of people who get surprised when they get contested. It's like surprise Pikachu. I'm playing one of the top 4 comps. I'm getting contested. It's like
Yeah.
how are you surprised about this?
Yeah. It's like how you like not surprise you with like the same comp. Everybody comes in to try to win, and they're just gonna play the best comps. Like this is the mentality, right? It's like who comes
Yeah.
into a tournament like I'm coming here to lose. Like no
real.
one has that mentality. You know what I mean?
For real. So,
So
Misfit,
like
I'm actually curious. What do you do when you know you're being contested?
contest
When
the
I mean,
bag.
that's it. I just show them who's alpha. That's it. Either you're alpha or you're a beta, bro. That's it. Dude. A or B, bro.
Shit, but
Yeah,
he's
I
always
get-
the alpha.
Like I did, you just learn how to play it. You just learn how to play better than them. Fuck it, dude. Player diff.
Yeah. Did you
Bro,
see this?
like last set, dude, like 6 people would go it, and I'm playing something random. I'm like, I hit keeper, Kennen, chosen, or Zaya. I'm pivoting in my whole board, bro.
Yeah, this
Ask
man.
like on my roll downs on like 5-1, 4-1. I'll sell my whole board. I
Two
sell my
keepers.
whole board on PV into all keeper, bro. Just to
Yeah,
get
you should
infinite
see
gold
this
to
guy
roll
play.
for it. I sell everything.
Like
I
this guy
remember you
when I
telling
watched him
me
play.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
This
Dude.
this man will like everybody's playing keepers. I'm playing keepers too. Fuck you guys. I'm gonna play keepers. And then he somehow hits and plays in top sword, and everybody else fucking holds hands to the bottom. It's like what the fuck?
That's
It's
the best feeling, dude.
Yeah.
That's the best.
So, are the things you're doing differently? Like, are the things you're doing consciously aware? Like, are you keeping, for example, are you keeping track of like their roll down times? Like, you're watching their gold, and you're gonna be like, okay, they're probably rolling down 4-1, so I'm just gonna go like what, fucking 3-5 or some shit like that, or
No. So for me, like if I know they're all playing the same comp, and I know that let's say I hit like crucial items for that comp, and I have a couple of their units, and I scout the board and I see like what they hit and what they didn't hit, and I see when they roll down. I wait till after, because if they don't hit, I assume I'm gonna hit. It's like gambling, you know.
Yeah.
If they didn't hit, then I'm for sure hitting, bro.
you do the
Yeah.
reverse.
Yeah, you go first, bro. If you get
No,
cracked,
no.
I'm going in. I'm full
Yeah,
sending.
they understand. Yeah, they understand. Like, they're padding for his RNG. You know, that's what they're doing. They're spending money to boost up the jackpot, so he comes in and get a bigger win.
And think about it. All right, if a person's rolling before you, and let's say they roll 50 gold and they didn't hit, yo, you're 50 golds richer than them. You know. And then I wouldn't roll on 0. I'd hit some of the units of that comp, but I'd make sure I have more gold than them. So I always have more time to roll and more gold to roll than them. Because
Yeah.
how much gold can you hit with 10 or 20 compared to econing back up from 30 to 40 to 50? You know.
Yeah.
Right.
And stuff like that. But then if I do get contested, and let's say that I'm the one that has the perfect opening and I have it right, and they contest me, and then let's say I don't have a lot of pairs, like let's say like the Sin was in meta, and like a LeBlanc was popular, right? Dark blue buff,
Yeah.
OP, you go dark blue buff, GA. That's all you really need
Yeah.
to do shadow. Like every auto, you get shadow CC, right?
Yeah.
And then I see what they hit. They have multiple pairs. I'll be like, all right, they're gonna stay at this level. I don't have a lot of pairs. I don't think I can hit the 3-star. I'm gonna push levels to save HP and play better units, get another synergy, and like it would usually be level 8, like Revenant, and I'll play that, look for volley with the Ivern and stuff like that. Play that, try to save HP, have more CC, let them roll and be behind in levels while I'm hitting like the other units. Because if they do hit and they go to 8, like yeah, they spike, but they have a lower chance of hitting the other units that are high cost, you know. And I'm just playing for third, fourth, you know. I feel like knowing what position you could play for is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting that you described that, because I never really like thought about it that way, where you let them roll first, because my instinct would have been to just roll first, right? Like
Okay, okay, but
just hit,
like
right?
but if you roll first and you don't hit, what do? You're always down gold and down levels and the
For sure,
experience.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Another thing I want
Um,
to add in was like, so back then when it was like open for Vel'Koz meta, when Kian was playing Vel'Koz, right? He will roll at 4-2 rather than 4-1. He will make sure everybody else pulls out all the other forecasts so that he has a higher chance of hitting, right? And that's an actually valid strat. Like you always roll after everybody else. Like when you play an uncontested forecast comp, you let everybody 4-1 roll down, take out every other shit units you don't need, and you come in later and just scrape whatever else you need. And it's all of your stuff inside, the bag. And that's the strat. And I was like, looking at it, I was like, fuck, that's actually big brain when I first heard of it.
that's
Like
a
I did.
player diff right there.
Yeah, that was a player. It's
That's a
like
player
oh,
diff.
6 Draven players, 2 fucking Jax players, or some shit like that. Yeah, just get your items out. Like fuck, get all the 12 Dravens out. So when I roll, I'm just gonna constantly hit Vel'Koz, Rise, and whatever that you don't need. You know what I mean? It's like I'm always gonna hit because all the other stuff I was supposed to hit already got taken out. You know what I mean? And I was like,
Yeah, that's
wait, this shit is lit.
super
Yeah.
huge. That's super
Yeah, that's
huge.
like that's one thing I didn't think about. It's like there's so many things you can learn just by looking at other people play in TFT, right? Like this
For
is
sure.
not something that you really learn yourself. It's really hard for something like to you accidentally bump into it. You know, when you see someone else do it, it's like, oh wait, I now understand why they do it, kind of thing. And that's
Yeah.
why I always emphasize watch more, play less.
Yeah, well, it's always for the history of mankind, right? The shortcut has always been to learn from somebody else who has learned it,
Yep,
right? So why would it be any different in this scenario?
true. If you want to
Right.
be the best,
Well,
learn from the best.
yeah, exactly. That's why we have Misfit here. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna yoink his
Just play
strats.
cool units.
That's it,
But
bro. That's it.
but Misfit, I wanted to ask you about doing VOD reviews and how your network of TFT players, or like I would say like your friend group, right, of people who you regularly see coaching from, has accelerated your learning.
Just seeing how they play and like what the difference is, like the skill differences, and like things that I picked up on they don't, and vice versa. Like for VOD reviews, I watch it by myself. Like obviously they send it to you. You know, I watch it myself. I write notes. At first, I just watch the game. Like my routine is watch the game. You know, the second time I watch it, then I watch it because I kind of know how the game goes, and then I start note taking, and then I get them in a call and I do a third VOD review and I watch it with them. But then I make them explain each decision they're making and their thought process. And then the fourth time, I'll watch it with them. And then while he's telling me what he's doing again, I'll give him what I'm thinking. And then how we can improve that and how we can change that. And then see if that was like the best possible solution during that stage or during that round. Because I feel like every round after each fight is different, you know? So you just
For sure.
adjust accordingly, you know?
Yeah, for sure. That's actually like really thorough. I didn't know. I haven't heard of like a VOD review strategy before.
Yeah,
But
I do the
I
5 VOD reviews in one. I do 5 of them.
I
Yeah,
really
this
like
one's
that. Though.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense though.
Because
right?
like the thing about it, all right, you watch a movie. Let's say like Inception. Okay, Inception.
Yeah.
The first time you watch it, like woohoo, this is lit. You know, there's a lot of action.
Yeah.
It's kind of mind boggling. Like what the fuck is going on? You watch it a second time, you kind of understand it. You kind of get the idea of like what's going on. How did that happen? The third time you watch it, like all right, you're breaking it down more. You get into more detail, more specific. Oh, you catch things that you didn't miss, and every time you watch it, you catch more things that you don't miss, like little Easter eggs and little hints and stuff like that show you that how they got into that predicament. It's like that. That's why I feel like when you watch like VOD reviews, you watch them multiple times, you learn more every time you watch it because you didn't catch it up the first couple times.
100%.
Right.
That's what I feel like too sometimes.
How do you review VODs, Lex?
Me? So like
Yeah.
that's how I do it. Like I'm always live game with them first, right? So I'm already watching them,
Right.
and I'm always talking to them in the game. It's like, okay, so here's this. What are you gonna do, right? You have this many items. You're at this many gold. Like, what's your action? What are you gonna get on carousel? It's like, tell me why you're doing this. Like, why? Like, what's your next unit? It was like, why are you thinking this? Why are you thinking that? So I already know what they're thinking. Like, so then my second VOD review, I can just go and point in the mistakes. I was like, okay, when you did this here, I really like how you did that because this is what I would have done, or this is how a good player would have done this. And it's like etc etc. So I already know how they're thinking. So I break down his 5 steps into like 2 steps because I'm doing like mixing it together a lot more. You know what I mean? So I'm already walking through them, like guiding them, like giving them hints. It's like how they take the hint. And sometimes when I come back to a VOD review, I'll be asking them, okay, cool. I'll freeze a screen. It'll be a shop and a board. It's like, I see something here that you don't see. You now have more than 30 seconds to see what I can see. It's like, can you see it? And I'll see if they can actually spot, the difference. And they can. I was like, that's a good job. Now you know how to actually think properly. Now you need to take this to a live game with 30 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like I slowly build them up kind of thing. So mine's a little bit different because it's like more handholdy a little bit than compared to Misfits when I play the first game. But when I do like an actual live VOD review, I go in blind. So then I don't have hindsight information. You know what I mean?
I'm mauled. Like when I watch them play, I'm like, fuck, dude. Like if I backstab, I'm taking over, bro. I'm gonna give you the LP and I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong.
Yeah,
like,
dude, you suck. But yeah, so what's it called? I don't like watching VOD reviews then like multiple times before I go to them. I like the hindsight information. It's like what you should have done this turn will affect the next turn because what's it gonna say? If you have hindsight information, it's like, oh, okay, you can skip this thing here. You can make the mistake here because you're gonna get it back later on. You know what I mean? I'll use an example from a VOD I did ages ago. Right, this is with Bean. He was hard, like in a situation where he shouldn't be playing Duelist in set 4. He half-forced Duelist, and he somehow got Jax chosen the next turn and Jax 3 within like 5 turns. Right? In his case, he did the right move, but in another game, it wouldn't happen like that. You know what I mean? So you can't use hindsight information to judge how the game goes. That's why I like to go in VODs blind. So I know each turn what's the best play to make, right? Because the next turn when you're not punished for your mistake, that's a high roll, and they need to understand that, and that's why I like to do it like this. That's my strengths. I feel like the best VOD reviewer is actually Chaos. Chaos fucking types an essay for you. That shit's crazy. But yeah,
I've seen it sometimes. I've seen it just like him going when when he's watching somebody in the PC. I've just seen like the chat just fly, and I'm like, okay. Sometimes I just read it in the background,
like Naya said to before. This man coaches through text. Like he'll watch a live game, he'll text you, like what to do and stuff like that. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Enough of the tangent. Let's get back on track.
Yeah, not a problem. So actually, something that I would like to touch upon, which is arguably something I learned from you, Misfit, right, is flexing into certain comps. Because when I was playing Keepers, when I first started playing Keepers, it was like, oh, I'll just find all the Keeper units and I'll just hold them on my bench, and eventually I'll just start playing them all, right? And obviously, what would happen is like I would just fuck up my eco. I would get to like mid game with no gold whatsoever, and then just try and basically compete with obviously like no HP because I've been playing a weak board the whole game because I'm just trying to like collect keeper units, right? And then you mentioned to me like, yeah, I don't play keeper until I play keeper. And I was like, that like fucked in my head for a bit. I was like, what the fuck does that mean, right? And then like it kind of clicked. It's like, oh, I just play strongest board, build eco, hit the right level to roll down, and that's when I start playing keeper units. Right?
Yeah, because like every comp, like is like when your comp goes live, right? Or like when you can start getting your units, like
right.
So like you just want to save HP, save your econ. So like when you go for your comp that you're playing and you're building like a viable board that can hold, you're just looking for a good early mid game that's like decent, so you don't bleed too much out. Like right now, it's like we're Forgotten, Redeem, Knights, Rangers and stuff like that. Someone that can hold your items like suboptimally, and they'll be your placeholder. And then at whatever comp, like a lot of comps are 6, 7, 8. Once you get to a level, you either slow roll or you all in, to spike as well, and you roll down for your board. Because on 7, like you're not really rolling for your 4 cost carry 2 stars stuff like that, right? You're rolling for like one of it. You're starting to build your board, the skeleton of it, like the basis of it, and then you're getting some of the key components so you can go 8 and then roll down get for upgrades. If you're rolling, it wasn't like the last patch where the ratio is different, the percentages where you can everyone rolls down to 0. Donkeys that roll on 4, 1, and 7, getting like 2-star 4 costs. It's not like that. It's back to the old sets where like you roll down, you stabilize your board a little bit, transition your board slowly, start selling the units you're not going to play end game, and then try to be healthy enough to go 8 and then roll it down, hit your upgrades, and then that'll be your final comp. But if you're forcing a comp and it's a comp that doesn't go live until 7 or 8, like you're gonna hold like shitty units that you don't use, and they fall off. Every unit falls off. Like Kha'Zix OP, right? Stage 3, end of stage 3, like he falls off. Like Kha'Zix doesn't do anything. Everyone starts positioning, clumping. Like Kha'Zix doesn't get the isolation damage. He doesn't do a lot, stuff like that. And just understanding like when you can go for the comp instead of like hard forcing it from the get go. Unless you have like the crazy opening, like the chosen mechanic back then. Every time I got at least chosen, whether it's cultist or keeper, I'm top 4ing. Keeper, I'm keeping that to stay level 8. I'm keeping keeper or cultist until level 8, running the 6 cultist very save HV, because you have item holder, you have Sivir, you have like a TF, you hold your Morellos, all that stuff, and then you start positioning your board, and then you start selling all your units you don't use, your trash units, and you start saving all that econ HP that you save to roll down. Because if you're hard forcing comp, you're probably bleeding infinite because you're playing a weak board, like considering like the units you're playing, the traits and stuff like that, while everyone else is like playing their strongest board, and you're taking too much damage. And by the time you get to level 7, 8, you won't have like 2 or 3 lives, like unless you Omega high roll. And usually you're playing for like a 5th or 6th.
Right.
From my
I'm curious
experience,
Go ahead,
I was gonna say from my experience from coaching, like a lot of people don't know what filler units are. Like they don't know what to take out when they pivot a comp, and that's one thing people have to understand, right? Like recently, I was coaching someone, and they were like, they kept a unit that they never need to keep in for the longest time for no reason. Like it doesn't give them any benefits just because they had an item on it. Right? They don't switch it out fast enough. I feel like that's one thing people need to understand a bit more as well. It's like what units you need to sell. Like when I see Misfit play, he literally sell his whole board except for like 2 units at fucking PvE, and he still wins the round with like 1 stars. It's like, just do that. You know what I mean? Like clear board, clear bench, clear mind. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? You don't get dizzy. People get too dizzy because they hold too many things, and this is why you never hold a comp on your bench, right? If you, especially when you don't need it until like level 7 away, you just pivot into it. You're gonna hit it when you roll down, anyways.
Yeah, it's Lux. Our episode with Bulls has been pretty like profound for me. I've been thinking about it a lot. So Misfit, what Bull says, I don't know if you watched the episode. What Bull says is like in higher elo, everybody knows like what level they're gonna roll down. Everybody knows like what comp they're gonna play and what items they're gonna slam. Right? It's really like the stage 2, stage 3 setup that determines how far you're gonna go.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think I agree with both. I feel like that's the most important, because if you know what units are strong, you bleed less, and the units that you can use into your transition board, because like some of the units you do keep into your 5 until you hit the replacement, right? And stuff like that. Like let's say like you're playing like Yasuo right now and you're playing Nightbringer. Like, are you really gonna run like Vlad, Sejuani, and stuff like that? Like you're gonna replace that obvious. All right, Sedge becomes Darius, Lee is Morgana with GA, Morello, and dropping units, and then like understanding like, all right, is like the thing that people struggle with. Let's say like when skirmish is important, people always have about like, oh, okay, they scout, and they don't know like, oh, do I need Ironclad in this lobby, or should I run like 4D Slayer variant like that? All right, right, and then I just ask them when I coach them like, all right, if you're gonna run 4D Slayer, do you have okay, you have upgraded Mordekaiser, you have Dyna 2, your D Slayers are off 2-star. Do you have D Slayer items? Like, what's the point of going D Slayer if they're all 1-star and they don't have any care items? Like, are you really gonna waste your board on that? Or are you gonna make your comp tankier with Ironclad? If it's item dependent, do you even need Ironclad? Or like understand like, all right, I have a Rel 2 randomly upgraded, on 7. Do I sell that and play like a 1-cost unit, for another synergy? Or are you gonna play Rel 2 and keep it to go 8? And just understanding like what units you can and can't keep just because of their strength and what they bring to your team. Rel, shield, CC, broken. You keeping that. Any comp, you randomly roll down and you're holding 4 costs and you hit a Taric 2. Taric 2, frontline, OP. Throw them in there. There is no like, what's the best composition? Like, what can you get every game? It all depends. It's lobby dependent. Are you really going to sell a Taric 2 for a Rel 1? You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Just understanding like, is this going to make your board stronger or weaker? And knowing how to like emphasize or keep your streak and stuff like that, or minimize losses.
Yeah, I guess it kind of comes full circle to the whole conversation that we had of like you can't be afraid to experiment because you need to experiment and make educated guesses and be very conscious about the decisions that you're making to really figure out like what would be strongest. Because you're absolutely right? I mean, would you really sell Tarek 2 for a real one, right? For a lot of people, they might be like, but this
But
guy tells me that I should pay Rel.
Ironclad, low one. Search there
Right.
too. I'm like, all right, bro, go ahead, man. And then just like stuff like that. Just like I feel like the key thing that distinguishes like if you become a better player is understanding individual unit strength at each stage. I feel like that's the most important. That took me like a while, and
Yeah.
playing like units with like traits that don't even mix. Like there's a lot of times like now even this patch like I'll run like 4 Forgotten. I think Rise is broken. Rise,
He is,
I throw
though.
I throw Rise in every comp if I can. I just throw like one
You can't
shot.
say that. You can't say that. He's shit.
Yeah.
He's shit. Don't know fries.
Yeah. I throw one
Garbage.
tier on him. Yeah, he's trash. Don't play him, bro.
Yeah.
Play your Thresh and your Hikram all the way to stage 8, dude. Go ahead, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like learning like early game to mid game. I feel like if you know your early and mid game, you can always get to level 8 healthy.
Mhm.
And then it's a ladder system. As long as you don't bot 7, 8, you're always gonna climb no matter what. Like boards are strong early, redeemed, OP. 3 Forgotten to 6 Forgotten, OP. Fighting units that can hold your items. Like
sure.
looking at your comp, and then each round I ask myself, what can I add in right now that'll make me stronger, or what can I position to take? Okay, there's 7 other people in my lobby. How do I position myself so I can beat 4 of the 7?
Right.
And just stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of people like greed. They greed items a lot. Like they greed too much. They go for perfect items, and I'm slamming like suboptimal, and they're like, "Why did I take infinite? Why did I lose her? Why did you slam fucking Zephyr on 2-1? I have extra belts in Zephyr. Like no one's running magic damage. I'm gonna slam a Zephyr. Fuck it. You got to scout early, bro. I'll just leave my unit there.
I'm actually curious on what your opinion is of like slamming and holding items, because I'm somebody who I play super aggressive. Like if I have more than 3 components, like I start to get a little like nervous, right? And then I watch some of my friends.
If it's an
play,
item
like,
that works on the carry, I'll use it.
okay.
If it's an item on the carry, I use it. Every tank can use any tank item, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just slam them just to if I'm streaking, especially, I'm slamming items for sure.
Right.
If it's suboptimal, like bro.
I feel
It's
like
still better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
There's
You
like
gonna say something, Lex?
good items and bad items to slam, right? This just comes to understanding what items are good, like with the meta and stuff like that. But usually, if you can slam a tank item, go for it, right? It's never like a bad frontline item, especially when you have carry items already. Just slam a frontline and it's gonna save you rounds. It's gonna save you HP. Of course, unless the other guy comes in with like fucking 4 items, they already slammed a high rolled perfect items on his carry. It's like, well, I guess we lose here. We just take the L.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a weird dance, right? Because there's different play styles. Because I'm of the fan of just like slam early, cause pressure, increase tempo, kick people out as soon as possible. Like
I love the push levels. Yeah.
Don't give them time to recover, right? And like now as we're talking about this more, I'm like, maybe I should start griefing people more. Like maybe I should just worry about getting my 3-stack carry and then just like start stealing people's units and stuff.
I feel like griefing is like good if you're in a good spot though. But if you need something in carousel, then obviously don't grief for yourself.
For sure.
But if you got your main carry items, you have a good front line, and you don't really need anything, but you stop someone else from spiking, fuck it, I'll take it, dude. Oh, you have a Dawnbringer Garen about to upgrade? I'm taking that, bro. Renewer stat? I don't have any renewers. I'm taking that, bro. Level 9, I'll throw into renewer. Fuck it, dude.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, right? So I'm actually curious on how do you gauge lobbies, right? And I'd like to like move this into like talking about tournaments, down the road. But like, how are you gauging lobbies? Like, are you doing anything particularly with your scouting? Is there anything you're looking for in particular? Is it like
just looking at their board?
Walk me through that.
How do they make their board every round? Like a lot of people do, especially like when I go play my Smurf account. Like they don't punish you. Like I feel like tempo is so important. And if they don't punish you and they keep their weakest board to like save level econ to go fast 8, dude, I'm destroying them level 6 and 7, so they're taking infinite. So then now they're playing scared. They're low econ. Now they once to go 8, they only have like 20 gold to roll. you're not gonna hit anything with 20 gold. You need like 60 to 90 gold to hit your board, just your carries, not even your full board upgraded. And basically, I'm punishing them and I'm chilling. All right, I'm obviously gonna sack some when they spike at 8 if they hit, right? But then now I have 50 gold to roll to go 8, stabilize, and I know for sure I can go 9 that game. I feel like people don't minimize that or like maximize that and understanding like, all right, if they have a really strong board, are they gonna push levels to punish everyone else? Okay, they didn't. All right, I'm chilling. They're not gonna spike as hard, and understand like that. And I like to bully people. If I see like everyone's board is really weak, like I'll push 5 on 2-3. I'll push 5 on 2-2 and keep streaking. I don't care about items that I have like semi decent items that are like I have like an IE, I have a JG, or I have like a Warmog early, or a Sunfire or something, or a Morello. Then I'll push
something
levels
good
and I keep streaking. Yeah, push them and I make sure that I can beat everyone in lobby. Make sure I try to get that 5 streak into PV or something.
Yeah.
For sure.
How early are you pushing levels?
It's all lobby dependent. You know what I mean? Like if I'm pushing levels, do I have anything good to add in? Is it like 5 Hellions on 2-3? Yeah, fuck it, I'll push it. Like if I'm gonna push 5 and I'm gonna put in like a level 1 Vayne, that's not gonna do anything. And, sometimes people push levels and they don't have any golds to buy a unit to put on the field. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like I feel like, especially like right now, if you push like 7 on 3-5, I feel like it's a grief. Unless like you have something, unless your Omega is like strong and you have something really good to put in.
Yeah.
I feel like you just
Yeah.
unless you're like Omega shaking, that 3-5 is good. You just econ get the extra like 20 gold to go PV and you push levels and you roll with the extra 20.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you have any ad looks?
Me? What have anything to add? Dude, this was a bro, man. Fuck. Like, dude,
he's crushing everything. He's crushing everything. I'm
dude,
about to just ask him about tournaments, and then we're done. He's answered.
I'll add something. Right. I actually don't remember how I met Misfit. I think we met Misfit like randomly in general chat, talking shit or some shit, and bouncing around. Honestly, how I met Misfit, he was like, I knew him was a guy from Common, right? Because I was doing Common when it was like pretty early, and then he came to the TFT Discord. And I just see him helping people in general chat. I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool. And then we became friends. And then I brought in with the cats. You know what I mean? And then I would watch him play set 4.5 every single fucking day. And just keep it. It's fucking hilarious. Right? Like this man is like someone I looked up to. He's like my big brother kind of thing. And it's like it's like something I actually look up to a lot. And I always like see how he plays, and like I respect him. Like sometimes he fucking runs it down, but I was like, I know deep down he's like a one trick player. He's just gonna come back with one comp. He's just gonna roll everybody over, and that's who I see Misfit is. You know what I mean? This man, he will sit down and dissect the comp, and that's why like if I want to learn something, like learn his comp, I always go up to him. Right? Remember when I coach you keepers? I've never played a keeper game before that. It's all of that information was on Misfit. Like I literally just keep on watching Misfit play, and we bounce ideas. And then he'll ask me questions, I'll ask him questions. It's like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? Which one's stronger? Which one's not? Kind of thing. And that's how I coach two keepers. And this is why I told you to go to him. All right. That's how I always use him as an example as like a one trick player that succeeds. It's like people complain. It's like, oh, I can't climb with one trick. Oh, you can't climb with one comp. You know what I mean? It's like, no, there's players out there.
I do that every set. Yeah, I do every set.
They hit challenger. Like, what else do you want to get? You know what I mean? Like, there's people who hit top 10 just playing that one fucking comp. You know what I mean? There's no excuses, right? Sit down and actually learn the game. Stop making excuses for yourself, right? It's like, oh, I didn't hit, I didn't do this. Like, they're all just excuses. You know what I mean?
It's because I feel like they don't know how to get there.
Yeah, they don't know how to get there. It's like you can always ask questions. Go reach out for help. Go look at streams. You know what I mean? They're there to help you, right? Like, stop thinking like about the other player. Start looking at yourself, right? Don't look at other players' problems. Look at your own problems.
It's kind of like an essay. It's kind of like an essay. You know, when you write an essay and you write like you're like, all right, this shit's an A+, right? And then you do like the peer review, peer edit, and like all your homies like grade you with a red pen. You know, they're like, all right, you got this error, grammatical error here, you got a comma. You know, like, and in your mind, you're like egotistic. You know, that's okay. A lot of people are. You know, and they're like, no, the way I did it, like it's perfect. I don't see any mistakes. You know, but when you get a different set of eyes on it, you know, there's a bunch of errors that you didn't see because you're 100%. So tunneled on like how you see it, and you think that's the right way. You know. Or you think it's the right way, but is it the right way? You know?
Yeah. Everybody thinks their own way is the right way. This is why I'm always here, like asking chaos stuff, asking Misfit.
That's why I love getting coached, dude.
Yeah. I'm always.
I will leech coaching lessons.
Dude, this man is like the coached. Like I remember when he first hit masters in set 5. He literally got coached by everybody in the Discord. It's fucking.
I was hard stuck
Everybody-
D1, dude.
Yeah,
I was hard
everybody
stuck.
took turns coaching him. He just gained infinite LP, and now like he has all the knowledge, and we still.
And
by
then like they
ourselves.
wasted all the time coaching me. They forgot how to play, you know. And when I snipe them, I'm climbing, bro. Like, woo!
This guy just leeching information, man. You know, fucking lit. Yeah, just get more coaching. Don't stick with one coach. Like go around and get coached by everybody.
Yeah, everyone has a
Nice.
different style, you know,
Yeah.
a different mindset.
Sure.
So it's cool
Yeah.
to always learn, dude. You
Yeah,
know,
like
get your
I'm
IQ. Every time I get coaching, my IQ goes up +10, dude.
That's that easy. Yeah, but another thing is like just because us coaches get to pick who we, you know, get to get coached, right? Like we pick our students. Like you can still come in and be like, hey, I got coached by this guy. Can I get another coach instead? But don't be like some people just come in like get asked for coaching every single day and just like spend infinite forms. Like we're not gonna pick you up because you're just gonna end up like coming back every day, like waste our time. It's like sometimes you need to like sit down and like actually go through your own mistakes and learn from it. And I feel like a lot
For
of
sure.
us coaches here, right, don't teach you how to play a comp or don't teach you like step by step how to play the game. It's more like we teach you how to think, right? First you have to understand how to think, then you can learn for yourself, right? And I'm always going to use the Band example because that man's a fucking beast. Like when I first
Yeah,
coached him,
Ben is a beast, dude.
yeah, he doesn't know how to play the fucking game. He's like D2 or some shit. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do this and that. And then I just taught him how to think. And then he went out and did his own research, did his own studies, and like found out all this stuff himself. And then he hit. Like he just like challenged her in 3 fucking regions, 6 accounts or some shit. Right?
Yeah, he had
And then
infinite. I was like, what the
yeah,
fuck, dude?
this man's fucking crazy. And then he's just like coaching everybody else. He's like, he's big brain. Like he doesn't talk much, but then when he talks, like it's fucking legit. Right? Like he'll look at your board like, nah, this is shit. You need to put this in, and then like you would have lost the round, you win the round. It's like what the fuck? It's like 1 unit change you never think about, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of players, right? They just want coaching as like free LP, but what really happens is like you need to see coaching as like a gateway to like more information, right? That's how I see
Mhm.
coaching is, and that's how I like to coach. It's like I don't tell him the specifics. Like, hey, go look up this guy, go look up that guy, learn from this, learn from that, learn from this, right? It might feel like I'm slacking, but this is like it forces you to take a step forward. It forces you to motivate yourself to learn more, right? I could tell you all the
Yeah.
information I want, but how much are you going to retain? You know what I mean? It's like studying yourself versus the teachers just scribbling lines on the board. It's like, just write this down. You know what I mean? You're not going to learn anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the thing with TFT as well, right? That's how I see it. But Misfit, it's like my big brother, man. Fuck. If I need something, I'll go to him. teach me the new one trick.
Vladdy
yeah,
Daddy.
Yeah.
Vladdy Daddy. OP.
Yeah, let's go. Anything else you want to add?
That's it, dude. You gotta go to work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I think
guess
that's
this
it.
is a good way to end it. My
I'm running out
monologue.
of fumes. I'm running out
Yeah.
of fumes. You had a beautiful monologue. You got to go to
Yeah.
work.
We got a beautiful episode coming up for the episode
We
9.
had some really good discussions here. We had some really
Yeah.
good discussions. Some really.
Dude, everyone's gonna start playing cool units. So let's go.
Yeah, I know. Fuck.
We're contested.
Yeah. Uncontested. Cool
Rise
units.
isn't cool though. Rise is not cool.
Yeah,
he's,
no,
he's,
yeah.
he's
No,
bald.
no.
Don't play him. He's not.
Yeah, he's
cool.
Yeah.
green as well. Yuck.
But
You just go, yeah, triple lock at himself, put him in the corner by himself. He's vibing.
Yeah,
But hey,
what's up,
Misfit,
Malone?
I just want to say thank you again for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming for us to do this, but like, hey, it was a freaking blast. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yes,
I haven't
sir.
laughed this hard in like this whole week.
Yeah, dude,
I
this
also
man's
know like
fucking
there's
funny.
he's great, right?
He's fucking
And
hilarious.
I also know that there's a lot of wisdom in this past hour and a half for a lot of people who either struggle with just the game in general. So wanted to say thank you again for your time. Potentially episode 2 maybe in the future.
Yeah, thank you
Thank
guys
you,
for
brother.
having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You know, hopefully, obviously we're friends, so we'll still talk. But you know, anytime you
Hell
guys need
yeah.
a filler person guest, I got you.
Yeah, I got
No,
you.
you're the
a
next main guest. You're the
Yeah, what do
next
you mean
main
filler?
guest.
Main guest.
Main guest. What do you
When
mean?
Lux
filler,
loses his
brother?
voice, I'ma call you.
I got you, dude.
Right. Honestly, you're like one of the first 2-3 people I had on my list to be on this show. Right. Mad respect for Misfit.
Yeah, I
for sure,
appreciate
yeah.
it. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind words, dude.
Yeah,
It was
you-
a great
you literally-
time.
You literally were one of the first people that we wanted to bring on the show, and it almost in like a weird way. I'm kind of happy that
Ended it.
it took some
Season 1.
time to get
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
because like now it's like Lux and I feel like we're at a level where it's like, okay, we know what we're doing, we know what we're here to talk about, we know what the show wants to be, like just have a good fucking time, talk like get real
100%.
nerdy,
Yeah.
so
Thank you guys for having me as the last person for season 1. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, hit that bell for your notifications always on. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir.
see ya next time.
Time.
Peace out, everybody.